where they can see your show.
So anyway, I've just started. I've just hopefully. I think I should be live on YouTube now.
So that,
and people are probably wondering what on earth is going on, because I never normally go out at this time. So I've put up a big sign saying this is a tech test with dailychaos.news /show. Should be going out there, hopefully, embedded from YouTube, and on freedomslips.com. And so maybe people are wondering what that is. Hold on, let me just do me sort of intro thing. Hold on.
Anyway, I've just started.
Where's the? Oh no, hold on. Oh, YouTube error. No response from server. I don't know what that means.
Okay.
It seems to be streaming. Hold on. Let me just.
I never normally go out at this time. So I put up a big
sign there are with me, mate. I'll tell you. I don't call this Daily Chaos for nothing. Let's see if this works at least. I don't know. I don't know if there's any audio. I need to check my YouTube page and what have you. But look, for the sake of Freedom Slips, because I know you guys are far more technically proficient than I am, we're going to basically do an election special now for US election night. And obviously, I'm fascinated to hear from you guys in the thick of it, where it counts. No pressure, but the entire future of the world rests on your shoulders. And from my point of view, if you like, pundit from Europe, based in Spain, very British, as you can probably hear, a Brexiteer, and as I've got on my China my profile thingy is Olly Connelly, Brexiteer for Trump. Why? Sod China, that's why. And I'm very concerned about this whole globalization or globalist fascist thing going on. Very concerned about the Great Reset, which is something that's being set in place, basically a rebranding, as I'm sure you know, Nick, having listened to the last hour, you're clearly very, very clued up. Lots of things you can teach me, by the way, was basically a rebranding of the New World Order. So anyway, lots to talk about on election night, and not just the actual results coming in, but also, I mean, I'm an ex-media, I was on the other side of the tracks, ex-BBC and all that sort of alphabet soup type media stuff before I saw the light, and very, very interested in how the media is going to be covering this. And so I think next Tuesday through Wednesday, Nick, we're going to be looking at not only, the results coming in, but how the media covers it, and as a third thing, more concerningly, what the likes of Antifa are going to be doing, because I understand that there is a lot planned to try and, okay, this is the segue to you, sir. Is Election Day going to be the day that the second Civil War starts in the United States of America?
Through Wednesday, Nick, we're going to be looking at not only, the results coming in, but how the media covers it. And as a third thing, more concerningly, what the likes of Antifa are going to be doing. Because I understand that there is a lot planned to try and, okay, this is the segue to you, sir. Is Election Day going to be the day that the second Civil War starts in the United States of America?
I don't know if it's going to be on that day, but depending on what the election results are, it might be the next day. Chuck Schumer and Dianne Feinstein have, just because of the nomination or the confirmation of Amy Barrett yesterday, they've already threatened retaliation against everybody who voted for her, against the Republican Party in specifically, but Antifa results are, and as I was just reading from that Chuck Schumer New American article there and making points on it, because of the they're all very controlled by a system that really wants to just take this country down. And I've said this before, if our country falls, America falls, there's nowhere else the Republican Party. Okay, we are specifically, but Antifa and
extension.
New American article there, people from other countries going like they're all very controlled by much of us over here that really wants to take this country. But at the same time, I've said this before, there's one, because we're from the other side of the pond. When we were watching, there's nowhere else to go. We really want to Antifa guys better get this.
Extension.
New American.
The what was it? The div ballot. What was it? The spotted dicks. That's it. That's right. Extension. And Al Gore went off and grew a beard, conceded very easily, effectively, didn't he? But it seems to me that those policies like in the UK with the Tories and spotted dick is basically bringing duopoly. That's it. You vote for Pepsi, you vote for Trump extension, you take your pick. And Al Gore went off and grew a beard, conceded very easily. Ultimately, in the case of the UK, it seems to me that extension. I'm most concerned and Al Gore went off beer, season very easy. Extension. I'm finding it right. You know, I'm gonna try something here. I'm gonna shut down my audio system, and then reboot that. Oh yeah, that is probably the problem that I've got, is that I'm not going through. So I'll have a look at those. I'll have a look at those things. Yeah, but you're right. I mean, Hillary Clinton, she's getting a bit of a pass at the moment. Okay? Let's just say a scenario that either Trump wins by a landslide and the result cannot be contested, or it is contested, but through the courts, it ends up in the Supreme Court. And what with Amy Coney Barrett's now being on the court, giving them effectively a majority of, well, it's 5-3, isn't it? Because that Roberts bloke is effectively a Democrat. I'm learning. I tell you, I've been learning a lot about the Supreme Court over the last few weeks. And about Roberts, and about his flight log on the Lolita Express and stuff like that. But okay, so the other scenario is if it's not a landslide and they contest it because it's close or whatever, close enough that the mainstream media, you know the deal. But then it goes to the effectively, it would end up in the SCOTUS, and they would decide. So what was all this talk about it might end up being decided in the House of Representatives and Nancy Pelosi might become president? Mm-hmm. Yes. Now, hold on a sec. Nick, I think Nick, you can't hear me now.
Test it. It has to be within I think it's 1.5% or less.
I think
of a split margin where they can actually contest it, and then they can do a recount. And that's where the problem comes in, because that's when votes start getting thrown out. And depending on who's in charge of it, they can actually start throwing out votes that were actually legitimate.
Nick,
and that's where the Stalin quote comes in. It says the people that vote count for nothing, the people that count the votes count for everything. It has to be within I think it's 1.5%.
Can you hear me? Can you hear me?
There has to be a pretty good margin for them, or it has to be above a certain amount where that the vote can't be contested. But they may be able to pull it off on a state by state basis. I mean, they've been doing this for a long time. People that know how to rig votes, they've been doing this for a while. They've covered all the angles. They've tried some, then lost some, and they've adjusted their tactics on it. There has to be, which is why you're seeing a lot of the Democrat states saying, yes, we want to have the mail-in votes, because there has to be. They know that they can manipulate those. States like mine, we have laws in place where even the governor can't change them at this point in the game. Where you have to show up. You can do an absentee ballot and all of that, but if you go to the polls, you show up, you show a voter ID, or, whatever, your driver's license, whatever state issued card you get, and then you mark your ballot, and that's the end of it.
Nick, can you hear me?
But for it to go to the Supreme Court, overall, there has to be a really legitimate reason for it to happen. The Supreme Court doesn't usually take up, even back in when they did Florida, back with the Al Gore and the Bush controversy, the Supreme Court never took that up. See, that's the mistake that a lot of people are making on it. The Supreme Court didn't take that up. They sent it back to Florida to deal with it, because it was a state issue. Their election laws, and they're the ones who had to deal with it. That's where the Democrats got mad, because the Florida Supreme Court said that no, we're perfectly fine with the way the results of the election turned out. The Supreme Court doesn't usually take up.
Nick,
even back in when they
can you hear me?
Back with the Al Gore. Yes, I can hear you fine.
Can you hear echo?
The Supreme Court never took that up. You sound flat. That's the mistake that a lot of people are
really?
making on it. The Supreme Court didn't take that you sound up. Good. A lot of bass in there. Back to Florida to deal with it, because it was a state issue.
Hold on a sec. I'm just gonna pop into the other room. Just a sec. Hold on.
Okay. We're perfectly fine with the way the results of the election. So I'm just in case anybody out there who's listening to my shows wonders what's going on. We're trying to iron out some technical issues for the show next week, when we're going to do the simulcast with me, Olly, and broadcast here on Revolution Radio, and do the broadcast over in England at the same time while we're watching what's going on with the elections on next Tuesday night, which is which is going to be if they have the same kind of meltdown that they had back in 2016, it's going to be an entertaining night. So grab your beer, grab your popcorn, and sit back and watch the hilarity ensue. Hopefully,
I'm feeling a bit queasy. Sorry, I'm messing about.
Broadcast here on. Yeah, you're really starting to sound a little. Your audio's starting to sound a little bit screwy.
No, I was just messing about there, Nick. I was just being silly.
Oh, okay. You sound fine now. So you're
okay.
good.
Now I've got echo here, and I don't understand why.
Okay, now you're cutting out again. So grab your beer, grab your popcorn.
Is that better?
And,
yeah, that's probably because my mic's quite directional.
Watch the hilarity ensue.
Oh, blimey! I'm getting echo.
Yeah, I don't have echo on here. You were just kind of fading in and out. Yeah, you're really starting to sound a little. Your audio's starting to sound a little bit screwy.
Why am I getting echo from you? We're doing a tech test, people. Doing a tech test.
Oh, okay. Yeah, sound fine now. Yeah, I already kind of clued them in that we're trying to work out a few bugs here. So.
Yes, yes, and I think people could hear you on. Is that better? Look, folks, on YouTube, do us a favor. Tell us if you can hear the audio now.
I don't have echo on here. You were just kind of fading in and out.
Strange, but I am getting. Why am I getting? Oh, blimey! It's very odd. It's very strange.
Yeah.
Oh,
yeah, I already kind of clued them in that we're trying to work out a few bugs here. So.
Can you hear this?
Yeah, I can hear you.
You could hear? Could you hear that ringtone?
No.
You couldn't hear that.
Look, folks, on YouTube, do us a favor.
Let me try doing that.
Strange.
What about that? You can hear me still, can't you?
Why am I getting?
Oh, really?
Very odd.
Okay. What about if I do that? Can you hear me now?
Can you hear this?
I can't hear you.
Yeah, I can hear you. Yeah, but you got a delay.
Could you hear that ringtone?
No.
You couldn't hear that.
It sounds like you're looping right now.
Yeah, I am looping, and I don't understand why.
Doing.
Okay, you see, your audio sounds really good right now.
You see, that was us a minute ago. But that is because of something going on in one of the tabs. In one of my browser tabs, there is somewhere the show is playing.
Can you hear this?
I can't. And
but you got a delay.
we've got that with the latency cutting in.
No. Yeah.
It
sounds like because you're looping at about like 15 or 20 seconds.
That might have stopped now. Nick, can you still hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you fine.
Oh, you know what? That might have stopped. I might have got rid of the echo. The thing is that I normally use Zoom, not Skype, and so Skype I haven't had it set up to do this, and so and oh blimey! But what I really wanted to do, ideally, was to use Skype and Zoom next week, so that because I know people will probably call in you, and people will call in to me as well. And but having said that, I mean, people could just call in on Skype. I've got a Skype number, for example, that people can call in on, or they can just connect with me, Olly Connelly.
See, yeah, you sound fine now. You sound great.
Let's see. Let me just have a quick listen to see how the stream's going out on YouTube now. Just a sec.
Sure, no problem.
I can't hear anything now. Can't hear it.
I can hear you.
You can hear me. I can hear you, but I can't hear the thing going out on. Just a sec. Olly Connelly.
See, yeah, you sound fine now. You sound great. Now we got the echo again.
Let's see. Let me just have a quick listen to.
Or was that the is that the YouTube playing back?
Yeah. Well, blimey, I don't know. Oh, it's all very confusing. You can still hear me, can't you? We've got so much kit, so many awesome pieces of kit, but just don't know what knob to press, you know. Which takes us back to Hunter Biden, really. So that, I mean, this some of this stuff that's coming out involves the Obamas and Malia Obama. I mean, it's just mad. Unbelievable. It's unreal. Yeah. Holly Weird. Yeah.
Or.
Hmm.
You know, it just gets worse.
Yeah.
Now I got an echo.
Yeah, no, I know you've got a bit of an echo at the moment. Just put up with it for a sec, because I want to see. Because I did have Holly Weird some audio coming out of YouTube a minute ago, and now I've got none. That is so frustrating that it isn't doing what it was doing a minute ago.
You know, it just
put
gets
up
worse.
with it for a sec, because I want to see.
Now we're starting to have the delay going.
Just put up for. Okay, I can get rid of that.
I hope everybody bears with us a little bit, because we're just trying to iron out some little technical details here. It's not.
I've ruined your show.
We're trying to do this on purpose here.
I've completely ruined your show.
No, you haven't. This is great.
I apologize. Aye.
Well, you know what? Usually I just, you know, if you listen to the first hour of the show, that's usually kind of what I do, just kind of doing that, you know, unless I have a guest on. This is actually kind of fun.
Well, I tell you, that's great, and I'm envious. I mean, I don't like going solo, personally. I love radio, but going solo.
Well, it's hard. Yeah, going solo is hard. You know, when you hear people like Rush Limbaugh, who, by the way, might not be with us very much longer. And, you know, you hear these radio show DJs doing the talk radio shows day after day, and if they didn't have the amount of commercial breaks that they have, and they didn't have call-in numbers to do it, if they had to just do this by themselves for as long as some of the hosts on Revolution Radio do, I don't think they could even do it.
No.
You know, I actually love the interaction between me and somebody else. This is why I like doing Granada Forum on Friday nights. I like doing the health show on Tuesday mornings, because, you know, it gives me a chance, instead of me having to drone on like some, you know, like Ben Stein and Ferris Bueller's Day Off. It gives me a chance to actually do something. The health show interaction between me and Tuesday mornings.
I can't hear you. Oh blimey! Hold on. I've just buggered it all up. I've just buggered it all up. Oh dear. Right, I can hear you again now, Nick. Nick?
Yep, I'm here. It gives me a chance to actually do something.
I can probably hear you if I do
the health show interaction between me and Tuesday mornings.
I've buggered it all up. I can't hear you. No, I can't hear you. Hold on. Right, I can hear you again now, Nick. I'm a moron. Nick, right, I can hear you again now. Nick, I can hear you again now. Okay, I don't know. I don't quite know what to do, except clearly need to sort this out before next Tuesday.
This is you trying to merge Skype with Zoom or YouTube?
Well, no, just with YouTube. I'm going out on the streaming software, so I've got my basically is connected to the audio mixer software. The audio mixer software goes to the streaming software, and the streaming software also has. Skype goes into the audio mixer software, and then the audio mixer software goes out to the streaming software, which pushes the whole thing up the pipe. And meanwhile, you and I are talking on Skype independently, but the audio mixer software should just be picking up our conversation and chucking it out to the streaming software. So,
okay,
I don't know if that makes sense, but
no, I know, I get it. I don't know how it works.
I don't.
Because I don't have any of that software, so I have no idea.
I don't blame you. I really do not blame you. Okay, look, tell me another scenario then.
Which one? Which one would you like to hear?
Well,
I've got a lot of them. Which one would you like to hear?
So, Trump gets back in by hook or by crook, hopefully by a Reagan-esque landslide, and alternatively via the Supreme Court. Is there any way you can see, actually, that the Democrats can steal this election realistically? I mean, if it did come down to a knife edge, it would go to the Supreme Court, wouldn't it? So there's
it would.
Realistic way that the Democrats can steal this election.
This is one of the reasons that they were trying to block Amy Barrett's confirmation to the Supreme Court.
Yes.
Because with the way the Supreme Court is right now, look at what happened in Pennsylvania. Okay, they actually argue that they have the right to keep accepting votes 3 days after the deadline. 3 days after this coming Tuesday, they can still keep counting. They can still keep bringing in votes as long as they were postmarked by that date. You know, it's not hard to forge a postmark, by the way. Because they were a 4-4 split court, it was basically a stalemate, and they just sent it back to Pennsylvania, and Pennsylvania lower courts had already ruled on it. So they were trying like hell to keep Amy Barrett from being confirmed, because hopefully she will be a constitutionalist. Her judicial record says that she is, for the most part. But and that's why they were trying to keep her out, because she's going to be probably the roadblock. She's going to be the hurdle that they have to overcome. This is why they were calling her confirmation illegitimate. It was illegal. It was hypocritical. She hates women's reproductive rights. They ran the whole list of names without having to go as far as they did with Kavanaugh.
Yeah. I'm just.
But